Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So apologies for being MIA, I think, for at least the last week or so. Well, last 2 weeks, I guess, now because I missed last week. But yeah, your boy has been sick. I had a really nasty cold and sore throat, so I really wasn't up to making videos. Thankfully, it wasn't COVID. I tested myself just to make sure, but whatever it was got me down really bad for a couple of weeks. So I really wasn't up to doing videos, especially because my throat was really bad and I was hot coughing and hacking up phlegm all the time. So not really the ideal way to, or not really the ideal state to record videos in. But I'm back this week. I'm still going to take it a little bit easy. So the plan for today, at least, is just to get caught up with all the Shonen Jump stuff I'm backlogged on, which thankfully isn't too much. I'm just behind on Akane and I think one or two chapters of Kaiju, but yeah, today's plan is just get caught up with Kane, Kaiju, and Spy Family. Depending on how I feel, how much energy I have, I'll also try to get to at least one volume of Yona of the Dawn. But barring that, expect the Yona read-throughs to come back next week. But yeah, so without further ado, let us get back into it with the Akane-Banashi, Story 47, Fetching Tea, with story by Yuki Suenaga, art by Takamasa Moe, with Rakugo supervision by Keiki Hayashiya. Give me a second here. Oh, my throat really is not cooperating with me the last while. Give me a second. Viz, why are you like this? So we pick up with the little theater. As you have, as I explained earlier, our opener is going to take a bit of extra time. I'm sorry about the inconvenience. Was that Rokuro, I think? Is that his name? Let me quickly look this up because it's been a while. Yeah, Rokuro is talking to Hasho, and Hasho's like, it's all right. I've already accepted it. Oh, I forgot to do, translation by Stephen Paul, lettering by Sneer Aron before I forget the credits there. And Hasho's like, she came by earlier to tell me the news, along with an explanation of the events that led to this. I must admit, though, I'm surprised. I gave her quite an admonishment to steer her away from that kind of behavior. I wouldn't have been surprised if she resented me for not approving of her. And Rokuro's like, I scolded her once myself, so I know how you feel. But I can tell you, she really knows how to listen and learn. And if she truly understands now why you had to be so harsh with her, wouldn't she want to show you that she's learned? And Hasho's like, I'd be very pleased if that turns out to be the case. But it's not as though I didn't have my reasons. I plan to watch her act from the wings. I only hope that my concerns are for nothing. And Rokuro's like, you'll have your answer when you see her performance. And you see Akane heading up onto the stage and taking her seat. As she goes, ahem, my name is Akane Arakawa. I hope you'll stick around and listen to my story today. And you see reporter bro, whose name I cannot be bothered to memorize right now. Excuse me. Going, so, what does she come up with? And so Akane goes, within Rakugo, you will often hear characters speak of going inside. In this case, inside refers to Yoshiwara, the brothel district during the Edo period surrounded by walls and filled with lust and pleasures. The men of Edo would go inside to assert their manhood. And it's like, but for the courtesans who worked inside, if you were a prestigious Oiron, you had the right to refuse a customer. So she's pretending to be the Oiron, just like being disinterested, just like shaking her hand like no. It's like, even if a man came bearing many coins, if she did not care for him, he was out of luck. In fact, some say that when men went out for a night of fun on the town, they struck out more often than not. And you have the story known as Fetching Tea. So you have, from what I heard, some young men from town recently went inside for a night. And how did that go? It's like, it was terrible. I was turned down. It's like, you're a real sad sack. You know that? What about you then? It's like, actually, the ladies can't get enough of me. And you see Hasha just kind of watching her from the side, or like the wings of the stage. And you see Hasha just kind of like thinking back to Urara's performance, seeing like Akane mimicking her mannerisms. And he's like, she speaks exactly as Master Urara does. I knew that she had a rare level of technical skill for a mere Zenza, but this is quite a leap in less than a month. And as Akane continues, the girl took one look at my face and screamed, "Ah!" and then ran right down the hall. It's like, however, the real problem is what comes next. So after a few minutes, they sent me through to the room. And there, the same woman was sitting perfectly calm and waiting for me. It's like, why'd you start screaming the moment you looked me in the face? What was that all about? And reporter bro's like, perfect copy so far, but now, how's she gonna play the Oiron? It's like, that's what I says to her. And then she says, oh God. And I think Akane's... oh, excuse me, told you my throat is really not up to it, so I should not try to attempt screaming. Excuse me. I think Akane is trying to be like... Okay, I think what they're trying to go for is Akane is doing like the same thing that she was doing with Jumbo, or she's trying to pretend to be like super feminine, which is coming across like super awkward. And she's like, let's not rush things by sleeping together on the very first night. Will you hear my story first? And you see everyone is completely just taken aback by this. They just have no idea how to react. As you had just like ... And reporter was like, wait, she took lessons from Master Aurora just to do this? God, he cannot make me laugh like this. I cannot handle it. And he just spits out his drink, and as he starts cough hacking, he's like, are you serious? She took a nice long pause, so I'm sure she's going to follow up Master Aurora's type of Oiron, but maybe that was just a fluke. Next time it'll be better. And yeah, Akane continues, the woman says she came here to Tokyo after eloping with her man, and in order to raise the funds for him to start his business, she sold herself to the brothel. It helped him start that business as they'd hoped, but tragically he fell ill and passed away. Now 3 years later, I pay a visit to this Oiron, and this Oiron says to me, the kind of just like the, oh, you look just like him, you're the spitting image in fact. It's like, oh no, it's still terrible. And you go, whoa, now we're really getting somewhere. It's like, and then, it's like, oh, I want to support you from now on, to give you my everything. Would you keep visiting a woman like me to keep me company? It's like, absolutely not. So I says, sure, I'd love to keep coming here, baby. And you see the audience is just trying their hardest not to laugh. And you see a butt. It's like, why would you? And it's like, I'm stunned. You see Hasha going, I'm stunned. Her performance is very faithful to Master Aurora's, which is why her much younger age makes the same line sound absolutely comical. It's something that she uniquely pull off because her level of skill is so far beyond her years. It's fascinating how the same Oiron can feel so very different in her hands. And you see Rokuro watching a performance on the TV. As you have, what a pleasant surprise to get a call from you, Master Aurora. It's like, I thought you might have concerns about her performance of fetching tea. It's like, thank you for thinking of me, Master. Truth be told, I do have some qualms. And you see Aurora telling him, well, don't worry. She's found the answer to why I chose to teach her fetching tea. Alright. So, again, very bad idea for me to try to, do voice modulation and stuff with this, but yeah, again, I think this again is kind of like a perfect example of this is, I think, a perfect example of how there's definitely some complications and hiccups trying to showcase Rakugo, which is very much like a visual and oral medium, to try to convert it into more of just like a purely visual one, because it's kind of hard, even with like the speech bubbles and things, to kind of try to get across really like the effects of like the voice and stuff like that, like the voice. Sorry, my brain is just completely fritzing on me today. But it's kind of hard to get across like tonal vocal inflections and things like that in a medium like manga compared to Raku, where you can actually hear the performer and try to better ascertain what they're going for. So I think that's kind of the only slight hiccup with this chapter. is kind of trying to figure out trying to get across to the audience exactly what Akane is going for and why it's so effective. I think to an extent it works with, having like us seeing the audience's reaction to what it's like and hearing Hasho and Rokuro's reaction to it as well. Kind of gets it across an idea of what Akane's going for. But there's always going to be like an element missing without being able to like really visualize it in the proper way. So I think that's the only kind of thing I dinged the chapter for. But yeah, I think like this is speculation, of course. I can't tell if I'm on the mark or not. But I think the speculation I did was right. Like Akane is playing up what she did with Jumbo, where she's trying to pretend to be like very overtly feminine and fake, which is why you're getting like the contrast between the audience like trying not to laugh so hard because of how awkward and thing it is. But again, I think that's why this works so well. So I think Akane realized that 1 month would not be enough time for her to try to imitate what Urara was doing, because I think it would end up being a pale imitation of what she was doing anyway. So I appreciate the fact we're once again seeing like Akane's playing to her strengths rather than trying to copy someone else and like try to emulate their performance. She's playing to her strengths instead. So despite I think I had a few misgivings in the past couple of chapters, being like, I don't feel like there was enough set up, and I feel like this came to this too quickly. I feel like they did I feel like they managed to do a convincing job of like getting across how come this would be successful the way Akane is performing it. So I gotta give them props for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where the rest of the performance is going from here. It should be interesting. But yeah, good chapter. Apart from the minor hiccups, really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next one. So yeah, so like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to get around to the other chapter of Akane today, along with Kaiju and Spy Family as well. So look forward to that. Given how my throat was acting just with this, I don't know if I'll be able to get to Yona of the Dawn as well today. I might, because it's only early morning here right now, so I might try to take a break after doing the Shonen Jump stuff and then get around to Yona in the afternoon, but we'll see what my throat feels like by then. But yeah, as always, I hope you all enjoyed. Now that I'm back to doing reactions again, like I mentioned, I'm going to try to stick to doing these weekly. But I had a slight hiccup last week being sick and all, but hopefully that won't be a concern going forward. As always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, especially pushing the buttons, liking, commenting, subscribing. Really helps my videos with YouTube's algorithm. And until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.